What is going on, guys? It is DMG here, and today we are going to be taking a look at the 4-3-3 version 5, aka the false 9 formation with the tactics and the instructions. Now, I personally love this formation because you get a lot of great passing plays. It's very fun, it's different, but not only that, you obviously win, and it's meta. I actually just slapped around a couple of guys in the upper echelons of the elite division. That's how good this formation is. And lucky for me, I actually just randomly stumbled upon it when MattHDGamer tweeted out what your favorite formation is, and this guy, Griggs Foot, who I'm going to put in the description down below, tweeted out that his favorite formation was the 4-3-3 false 9. He also was kind enough to put some of the instructions in there as well. So that is what we're going to be taking a look at today. Make sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. And without further ado, let's take a look at the tactics, instructions, and the gameplay of this up-and-coming meta formation. So starting off with the tactics, most of these things are actually pretty standard, but there's two things that stand out, and that's obviously going to be the build-up play and the chance creation. The fact that it's slow build-up and possession pretty much goes against what most people would think is the meta in this game, because most people have forward runs, direct passing, maybe balanced as well. I honestly thought that too because of the description, which says rarely provides penetrating runs, which you obviously need, not just in FIFA, but just in general. However, because of the formation itself, these tactics actually work extremely well, which again, we will go over in the gameplay. Now, these are the tactics that I feel work best, but if you want to tinker with it, feel free to. Maybe put players in the box up a little bit, width higher, lower, depth higher, lower, whatever it may be. Feel free to tinker and see what is best for you personally. Now, there's actually not a whole lot of instructions for this team, which is really nice because you get that extra fluidity and you get that extra passing movement, I think, if there's less instructions. So moving on to the instructions, we have the total defense at just balance and default everything. We have the defensive mid stay back, cover center, that's pretty standard. We have both center mids on cover center, and that's it. We have the center forward at false 9, which makes sense because it's the false 9 formation. And then we have both wingers on cut inside. So again, there's not a whole lot of instructions in this team, which is good because you don't want to be hindered by that and force your players into something when it should be a fluid formation. Now, I do want to mention the more important positions in this formation, and that is going to be this little diamond here in the midfield. Your center defensive mid, your two center mids, and your center forward. These guys are going to be the heartbeat of your entire team. Now, your defensive mid on stay back and cover center is nothing new by any means. However, they still have to be extremely good because they and your two center backs are the only players that are going to be truly defending, at least if you have the ball and you're running forward, because again, your wing backs are just unbalanced. Your two center mids have to be good at everything, but they also have to have an emphasis on the attack. They're going to be getting forward a lot. They're going to be making great runs into the box. So Nakata, for example, and King Kazu, who I usually sub out for just Harry Kane, they're obviously not great defending, but because they have the right work rates and because Nakata has like 60 some defending, that is good enough in this formation, right? Again, we want them to have that attacking emphasis. And then your center forward is going to be doing quite literally every single thing in the attack. He's going to link up play with the center mids and the wingers. He's going to be shooting the ball. He's going to be dribbling. He's going to be passing. He has to have good positioning. He has to have a good weak foot. And again, Nakamura, I think, is good enough in this case, but you know, a 5-star weak foot, 5-star skills, just a god at everything is someone that's almost needed in this formation, or position, not formation, position. There we go. So just like with any other tactics video, we're going to be highlighting the 3 most important things when you are using this formation. We're going to be aided with that with the gameplay. Tip number 1 is going to be patient when you first get the ball in the defense. You're not always going to be counterattacking with this formation. And so that's what I'm going to highlight in this clip here. And honestly, I'm just going to let this play out because I just want to highlight how kind of slow we are. Again, we're not passing it around the back. We're not letting him, come to us or anything. We're still going at them. We're still trying to break them down. But as you can see, we are waiting for our center mids to kind of go forward here, right? Because obviously our forwards are pretty isolated, so we have to pass it forward and immediately pass it back. But just when that happens, again, we're still going forward. We're still trying to make runs. We're still trying to do stuff. And again, just because of that little bit of patience, we now have the ball inside of the box with Ido. We get the ball to Nakamura. He does some twists and turns like I'm sure you're all familiar with, and he manages to hit it. So again, you're not being a scumbum. You're not passing it around the back. You're just being extra patient and making sure that you're not forcing anything. Tip number 2 is going to be quite simple. Triangles. It's a pretty good shape that we're all familiar with, especially when it comes to football, and that's what you're going to be looking for constantly with this formation. As you can see from the formation, we have a lot of triangles here. We have the center forward, left wing, left center mid. We have the center forward, right wing, right center mid. We have the right back, the right center mid, the right winger. We have it on the left side. We have it in the midfield. We have an ungodly amount of triangles in this formation. We have to utilize them in order to do well. So I'm just going to show you how and where these triangles form a lot. So as you can see, we have this nice little triangle, right? That's a circle. circle. I'm going to draw a triangle. We have this nice little triangle just like that with our right center mid, right winger, and our center forward. We're going to go ahead, pass it right back to the center mid, pass it to our center forward, and already, just like that, instead of being tucked in our own half, we're now breaking away into our opponent's half. Now, while you can form triangles on the wings, you can obviously do it in the midfield as well. We have a nice little triangle right here. We have one with these guys right here, and we're going to have just multiple ones, right? We have them all over the field. And so again, we really want to utilize that. Defensive mid, center mid, defensive mid, center forward, all one touch passing. We send our center mid through, and it's going to be a goal. Again, notice how quickly this was. So you have to be looking for these triangles, and you got to make sure you do it quickly as well. Now, we don't have our wingers on get in behind, and there's a reason for that, which we're going to show in this next clip here. Most people, including myself, don't know how to defend properly with fullbacks. With center backs, they tend to press up a lot, which is fine because they have an additional center back to help cover for them. When it comes to fullbacks, they don't have that type of cover. And so if they press up with that fullback, they're going to be left in the dust. Now, again, we don't have them on get forward automatically because if someone sees a run, they're obviously going to go cover it. So we bait them into coming forward, and then we send them on the run. So as you can see, we have our right winger completely isolated out here. Our opponent is going to switch to his left back. And again, we don't send the right winger yet. We don't have him going forward yet. Otherwise, this guy would just go and cover the run. So we wait until he switches, and that's when we send him on the run. We baited him into coming and pressing us, and so then we just send him on the run, and now he is through. And then we also score, you know, just this sumptuous goal, by the way, just orgasmic. And keep in mind, we obviously have two wingers. We can do it on both sides. So again, we just have our winger completely isolated out here. He's not running forward yet, and you can't really see him except on the mini map here. He has his right back that is just going to be pressing up against this winger that we have. And so once that happens, he goes to press, we send him forward. Guess what's going to happen? We're going to do a nice little over the top through ball and put him into space, and we're going to go and get a goal from it. Or at least we would if I didn't overpower it like an idiot. Now, this formation is one that most people don't use, and the tactics are the same way, so I know it's going to take a couple of games to get used to, as was the case for myself as well. But it's incredibly rewarding to not just exploit the game and these little glitches, but also to play like the proper way of football as well, and do these nice little passing moves and walk the ball into the net. It is incredibly satisfying to get those types of goals. So again, that is going to do it for this video, guys. If you do have any questions over it, be sure to let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try to answer them for you. But like I said, that is going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been DMG. Peace.